These sticks right here.
Okay. So what are you trying to do? Okay, go.
You ready?
Action, people! Oh wait.
Sound rolling. All right.
Carvo. Action, people!
Welcome to the G4G podcast, man. The Game4Game podcast. You know what I'm saying? Give you a whole bunch of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to help you maneuver a little smoother through this thing we call life, man. You know what I'm talking about? I'm your motherfucking host, Slick954. I got my co-host in the building.
It's your boy Carvo. I'm in the motherfucking building. And we got the lovely Tonya in the building. Tonya, tell the people a little bit about you, Tonya. Tonya, tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you come from. Just make it brief, let them know something.
All right, so my name is Tonya. I have a natural hair salon in Miramar, Florida. I've been doing hair for about 10 years. Yeah, that's kind of about it, guys.
Hair about 10 years.
So look,
sweet, okay.
Yeah, a little background. Tonya is also my best friend. She's been my best friend for 10 plus years. Woo. You know what I'm saying? I met her around 2017, 18-ish.
No, you mean 2007, not 18.
Oh, that was about... Damn, I met her off. So yeah, 2007, 2008 that's when I met her, you know what I'm saying? And
I got a question, guys. I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna say that for later because I just thought of something.
Just thought of something. So yeah,
raw later.
So yeah, man. So the reason, so the episode today was episode 6. Episode 6 today is right here.
Yep.
All right, bam. So episode 6 today is entitled "Mind Your Business." We talking about business. We talking about credit. Everything that's been hidden from us for the longest.
All the game that we really don't know that we really should know.
Yeah, man.
As far as the basic steps on getting a business started. There's a lot of things we really don't know. I'm talking about the basics.
Yeah, the basics.
Right.
So we really gonna touch a little bit on that and talk about that. That's
man. Because nowadays society is pushing everybody to that. It's gonna come to a point where you're gonna have to. You gotta have some type of side business. Even if you have a regular job, people are realizing these regular jobs is not sufficient enough for us to live in the U.S. Not just a regular. I'm talking about the minimum wage. Sooner or later, everybody gonna need some type of side business, and we here to give you the proper information for you to do everything
check it out,
correctly.
Check it out. I was reading a statistic the other day.
What you was reading?
Just to live in South Florida comfortably, you gotta make like $77K a year.
77.
So if you over here pump faking and you ain't making $77K a year, stop it, because you might as well get a business, get shit right, because you need to make that back.
Sooner or later, you're gonna have to make something shake.
You gotta make some shake.
Long story short. So we're gonna make sure that we help you. You know what I'm saying? So we bought Tonya in here because she's been running her business for how long?
I've been self-employed for 8 years now.
She's been self-employed for 8 years.
Okay.
All right, so follow her on IG. You know what I'm saying? Retwist by Tonya. That's RETWISTBYTONYA. Yeah. You know. You feel me? I passed it. But yeah, so follow on IG, you know what I'm saying? She's a master loctician. I don't even know that was a thing, but
it's a thing.
She made it up. So she's a master loctician.
Did you coin that word?
No, I didn't coin it.
Oh, okay.
She coined the word.
I feel like once you put that time in, you gotta go
master
the skill. You gotta master the skill. You can't just keep saying you're regular.
So the reason why I brought her in, because when it comes to business and credit and everything, when it comes to my finances, I always run to her because she's been doing it for so long. So she's not just a credit repairer or someone that's not actually in the field, actually doing it. Every day she's actually has her hands in these things, and she put me onto so much game. Well, I can't even keep up. So I, decided to bring her on here so she can share the knowledge with the people.
And check it out. Another thing too. Shout out to Tonya, because she's our first female guest.
Yeah.
First guest today.
So we rock with the ladies. Ladies, don't think we ain't. You know what I'm saying? We walk with y'all. We rock with y'all.
We rock, man.
We rock with y'all 100, and we're probably gonna bring a lot more women on our show. So she the first one.
Yes, sir.
Gang.
So
yeah, man, we're gonna jump right into it. So let's see. So just take us a little brief through your business journey.
Give us a journey.
Your business journey.
What made you? What made you finally said, you know what? Fuck it. I want to work for myself. I can't work for the man.
Facts.
I got to get my own thing popping. What made you finally decide to do that? And what kept you going on these 8 years? What kept you going? What was your why, and what is your why now? Or if it changed.
Okay, so initially when I started out, it was like anybody else. You go to that job and you're like, man, I hate this job. You know what I mean? You just go and you're there every day. The routine kind of kicks in and you're just like, this is not for me. So it's just trying to find that, what can I do to not be stuck here?
Okay.
So I started off with something basic, like a basic math problem. At the time, I was this is probably 2007. So I think I was making about $10 an hour.
How old were you?
Come on, let's not go there. I mean, I don't know. How old was I?
You were 17.
There you go.
I was
18?
not 18.
You said 2007?
Yeah, give or take is when this
17,
stopped
18.
Right, so
started.
you was 18 when you decided to say, what am I doing? I'm not working for somebody. I gotta figure it out.
Right.
Okay.
So, like I say, that $10 an hour thing, and you start to think about, having that, realizing that at these jobs, like I say, it's $10 an hour. So you're like, man, I'm working 8 hours, maybe I'm making $80 a day. How hard is it to make $80 a day without being stuck in this office setting or being stuck at this place for 8 hours? It's only $80 and I'm struggling with
And
80.
They take that 30%.
Right, and then there's taxes. So it's like,
years.
right. So it's like, why continue that? So it was like, what could I do to make the same amount of money with less work? So that's kind of where it started out, and it kind of went from there. I mean, conveniently, I know how to do hair, so it was like.
So that was one of the natural skills you just were naturally talented at. It just came second nature. Doing hair. And
Correct.
You were doing hair since you were even younger, I'm assuming. Right.
Right. So it's just, like I say, it just was that small plan. Like, okay, if I can do 2 heads at $40, which, like I say, this was a long time ago. If I could do 2 heads at $40, I probably would only work 4 hours and make the same
amount of money
as an 8 hour.
Okay,
so simple math.
It's simple math.
No rocket science here. And you start there, and then it kind of just, all right, I can do this. It's not that hard.
Okay, so how many years did you before you got your own spot? I'm sure you started out maybe in the house at the crib. You
right.
feel me? How many years before you got your first spot, like facility?
It took about 2 years.
2 years.
About 2 years. And that's only because I got free. And that fear kicks in, because once you have your own, when you're working, you have the side hustle, you're like, all right. Because what happens is if you don't put this money into like a separate account, you never know what you're making.
Okay.
So it's like you can have that job and that side hustle, but if you don't separate the money, you don't really know what the side hustle
the business with the pleasure
is making. So
Right.
I couldn't really quit yet. So when I finally quit and realized, okay, I'm making good money on this end, and then I started to kind of back away from the job. But it took a little while to get into a shop, because I was that fear kicked in. Like, what if I don't get clients? How am I going to survive?
Okay, right.
You know, that fear kicked in. But it's like, you know what? I always tell people, don't be afraid of
like that,
broke.
right?
I feel like we all know broke. Like, you know how to survive broke. Like, you know how to.
That motherfucker
Right. Broke, then nigga.
That nigga still be here.
No.
Podcast ain't for you, nigga.
But I feel like we all know broke, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's like,
right.
let's stop being afraid of something that we know. We don't know rich.
Ooh,
You know, so it's like, let's not make I gotta eat peanut butter and jelly sandwich tonight, or I gotta drink water tonight and go to bed. Let's not be in fear of what we know.
Right.
Forget that and let's just go. You know,
Because at the end of the day, it's gonna be hard either way.
correct. There you go.
Either if you work that job you like,
what you saying is,
or you feel me?
Right. So what you're saying is, when you were young, fairly young, you're just like, you know what? I don't want to work for somebody. I need to figure out something. What I can do. What can I do? What am I good at?
Right.
To be able to, make extra income. Side hustle, I'm assuming.
There you go.
Working a 9 to 5. You was working, found a job. But then your side hustle became your main.
My main hustle.
Take us through that journey.
Okay, so
when did it click? Like, okay, yo, fuck this 9 to 5, nigga. That's my side hustle. I'm rocking this vibe, but yo, I need to go double down on this shit. I need to, make this shit the main, the main situation. So take us through that. To that.
Okay,
experience.
so with the side hustle versus your job, well, for me, it was like, okay, if I did it until my side hustle became such
When was that? You started 18. What year? How long? You know what I'm saying?
You making me think. Okay, so
you gotta get into the game.
I gotta get in the game. You're right. So like I say, initially you start out, it's just a side hustle. I'm doing it maybe an hour or two, after work, here and there, maybe a few times a week.
A year or two went by, and
then you're like, okay, no, not necessarily. It's just that I couldn't put that much time into it because work is cutting into that.
Right.
So I knew if I could take some time off, and you start to kind of pick up, and you're like, okay. And once I separated the two from business, from my job, and I was able to see the income, is where things change. So once I start again, that fear kicked out. It was like, okay, now that this is overwhelming, that I'm at work and people are calling me, it's time.
Right.
Because now I'm losing money as I'm sitting here for this definite $80 that I know.
What you saying is you got that shit is real moment.
Correct. So once you not getting sleep anymore because you're just 24 hours around the clock, it's like, all right, you know what? I think it's time that this side hustle got me. But then, but this is the thing with anybody in the business.
Hold up. Game4Game people, when shit get real, you motherfucking move.
you motherfucking move.
When shit get real, that's the time to motherfucking move.
Like
Right.
okay, some fire in your ass.
But let me tell you how crazy the universe is. So this is when you get tested. When I quit my job, I had all these clients. I'm like, oh, I'm quitting my job.
Right.
First month, it was like, where they at though? Right. So it's that trust of faith that goes, okay, do not run back to your job right now.
Don't do it.
I know it
That's
seems
it's that leap of faith.
Right. So it's
We were talking
like
about
you
that.
have to
Exactly.
have that. You have to have that. Okay, it looked bad right now, but I got this. I know me. And I know this. As soon as I stop thinking that negative, like how I'm gonna pay my bills, it like all switched for me.
Everything clicked.
Everything clicked.
Right.
So it was like when I stopped doubting myself, everything came back. Those clients that I have had already came back, and I've ran from there. So.
God started working, man.
God, there you
Listen,
go.
you can't work under restraints. Like
Yeah.
I feel like at a job and things like that, like they have everything's capped. You're put in a box. You can't make
Correct.
more than this.
Right.
No matter how, you can't be creative in that space
Right,
because
right.
it's not yours.
Right.
Correct.
You feel me? So it's
Don't
like
own the
how
space.
could God work in something that's not even resonating with what your
Correct.
soul? You feel me?
Correct.
And I feel like once you take that leap of faith, that's like you just pretty much letting him work now.
There you go.
And now you see all the blessings and you see everything that he can do through you. You feel me? Because he lives within you, and it took you to jump off that cliff to unleash that. You know
There
what I'm
you
saying?
go.
Tap into that God sense, that God consciousness. You
Absolutely,
feel me?
100%.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so check it out. All right, Bob. So you did that now.
Yeah,
Our
man.
first question, right, is because you did all that, blah, blah, blah. What are the first maybe 1 or 2, even 3 practical steps someone can take, right? Like in like 30 days they can take to like literally get themselves going. Because you now you're going, you're doing. What was the first initial things you started doing? Like what are those practical steps? Like as far as like forming an LLC, like what did you have to do those
I'm glad
first
you
30
said
days?
that.
So explain that to the people. You know what
Okay,
I'm saying?
so a lot of misunderstanding with business is like I got to get this LLC so I can have this business, and I would not suggest that. You got to deal with yourself first, and it's mindset. So once you get that plan, like I said, I was literally mindset.
Okay,
Mindset.
So
that's
once
the first.
your mind has to change, you have to now conduct yourself.
Can you elaborate a little bit more? Like when you say mindset, you're talking about you have to like. I'm talking about 100% go in on something, or are you talking about like I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, when I say
what's the mindset? Like,
when
what
I
do you
say
mean?
mindset, I say that because you have to switch from being this worker to this business owner. There's a mind switch there that you have to conduct yourself differently now than you did when you was just I work for this particular person. Because with a job, as long as you're there, you're paid.
Right.
As a business owner, you don't ever clock out. Because if somebody call me right now,
so what you're saying is you're gonna have to put in more hours.
There we
you're
go.
gonna have to a lot more responsibility.
So your mindset has to change. So
There you go,
that I'm gonna stay up at 2:00 in the morning. It doesn't change. We gotta kind of keep it moving. So you gotta work on the mind first.
Right.
That's rule number 1.
Right.
Gotcha.
So number 2, I would say before you get an LLC or try to consider business loans and all that stuff, is use what you have. Like try to. I know sometimes it depends on the business. Sometimes people try to. I'm gonna buy all this new equipment. Or I'm gonna buy all this new stuff, and it's like you don't even really know if you want to do this 100% just yet. You might think, I'm gonna go buy this camera because I'm gonna be a photographer. Or I'm gonna buy this, and you're not there yet. So I would say use things so that way, and so that you're not putting yourself in debt before you make $1.
Facts.
Okay.
So start with something that you already have or can borrow or can rent until you make sure that this is where you want to be first.
So what you're saying
because I feel like
use your resources that you have already.
I honestly feel like if you're not willing to do it with what you already have, you're not gonna do it once you get new shit.
Correct.
You feel me?
You're not gonna appreciate
just
it.
Just like with just recording videos, things like that. Motherfuckers say, oh, I don't have a camera, but they have a whole iPhone in it.
That's $1 million phone right there.
They
already spend $1,000 on a fire ass camera. You feel me? But they so focused on getting like some real deal.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? They trying to jump steps when it's like shit. You ain't even. It's so much free shit out here. It's like you ain't willing to do it, and it's already free. What make you think you gonna turn up once you get something?
That's so
you feel
crazy.
Me? So,
Slick,
yeah,
like
man.
you said, jump steps. Like people really at all times want to jump the steps. Check it out, people.
Facts.
Ain't no cutting, no corners.
There you
people.
go.
Like you gotta go through it, yo. Like you gotta literally like put in the 10,000 hours that it takes to master something.
Facts.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? So like real talk, like if you're not really putting in them hours, you're not really putting in the grind, if you're not really putting in the mindset, like Tonya said, Like, for real, figure out what it is, because that's what it takes first.
Yeah.
Game for motherfucking game. Game for motherfucking game.
So that was what?
Make sure you want to do it first, man. If you ain't gonna do it with the shit that you already got, 9 times out of 10 you ain't gonna get it with the expensive shit you trying to spend your money on. All the shit that you feel, because a lot of times we just create those. Our mind create things to stop us from pursuing things. Right. Mm-hmm. So we make up excuses like, oh, I don't have a good enough camera. Right. Oh, I don't have enough
I don't have the money. Or
I don't have the money. I don't have this.
Followers.
Mm-hmm. You got breath in your motherfucking body. That's what you got.
And you better get started.
Hey. Because you got to keep in mind that there's people with way less than what you got. Correct. That's making it happen. So you ain't got no excuse. You feel me? Right. So yeah, man. So all right. So moving along.
All right, so Bob. So now you got your mindset. You know, you got everything popping, right?
Facts.
So what are, in the sense of, what are some of the basics as far as like, how do people form an LLC? How is it that, you set up a bank account? How do you go through those steps? Like, give those people, give the people like those steps that you took to make the formal part of it, the business, the paperwork, all that.
Or just after you do get to the point where you don't have to, you can up it. You know what I'm saying? Fully legitimize your thing. Name all the things you would need to fully legitimize.
Legitimize yourself and your LLC or
everything you would need.
Right. So with an LLC here in the state of Florida, you will have to go to sunbiz.org. So sunbiz.org.
So first step, step number 1, go to sunbiz.org or any like website. I'm assuming like
no. Let me tell you.
Let it talk. Game for game.
Okay. So when I say go to Sunbiz for the state of Florida is where you're going to start up with it's going to say start new business to start your LLC.
Okay.
And once you go on that site, it's going to walk you through it. The reason why I'm saying make sure you go to sunbiz.org because there are so many different companies out here that's saying, oh, I'll do it for you for $300. I'll do it for you for $400 because you don't know no better.
Right.
To get an LLC, right? To get an LLC, it only costs $125. But there's companies that will say, I'll charge you $300 and I'll do all the work. And it probably take less time than to set up a Facebook profile. It's not even that difficult. You can do it right now, like 15 minutes. It's not even something that you need to have.
How much was the cost again?
$125.
All right, so check it out. Game4Game people, you can literally start your own business for less than $175. We're talking about $150, and maybe you might have to put something in the bank account, right? You might have to
okay, so my thing is, even before you go to the LLC, you can go to your bank right now and say, I'm going to just open a business account as a small business owner, and you do it as a DBA, which is a doing business as. So before even, like, if you're not even ready to do the LLC thing, and you just want to say,
don't worry about the LLC.
If you're not even ready for the LLC, because there are yearly fees for the LLC. So if you're not even ready for that, let's go to the DBA, and you can go into the bank tomorrow and say, I want to open up a small business account. It's $25 like any other checking account. And you can start that tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow's Monday. Let's go. Get started. So
you're going to tell me I want to start a business today, tomorrow, my cost to start business is $25.
You can open the bank account.
So $25, okay.
Start there.
Right. Okay, bet. So... And then now, let's get to the LLC.
So once you get the LLC, you can then change your,
and that costs $150?
That costs $125.
So our business costs right now starting is $175, people. Figure out the numbers now.
Right.
So it's
like,
okay. What's next?
Once you do that, then you can get into your EIN number, which is EIN?
Whoa. Okay. The fuck is a EIN?
I got you.
What's the EIN?
So the EIN number is pretty much like a social security number for your business. So
okay. So you mean to tell me your business has its own?
It has its own social security number. Okay. So the benefits of that is now saying, okay, I might not have all this great credit, but now I got a clean slate with this EIN number with this new business.
Okay.
Right.
So once you go to the IRS.gov or is that .com? I think it's .gov, but it's IRS. You apply for the EIN again. Might take you 10, 15 minutes. If that, they don't even charge you for it. You get the EIN number that day.
Black people love free shit.
They love free shit. So you can get the EIN number that day, and now you have this social security number for your business. And when I say social, meaning in my case, I want to open up a Chase credit card for a business account.
So you want to
I didn't use my Social Security number. I use this business Social Security number.
Right, which is that EIN number.
That's that EIN number. Okay. So now we're talking about the business. We're not talking about me.
So EIN equals the Social Security for your business, not the Social Security for your personal use.
Correct.
Okay.
But let me clear that up because I think sometimes people who think they have a 400 credit score cannot get this EIN and then they like in a clean slate. Right. Okay. So if you have decent credit and then you have the EIN, yes, you can apply for business credit and be able to help your own credit out. So it's great.
Business credit. We're going advanced right now. We got to get the basics.
Basics. So EIN. Yes,
EIN first.
You can get that.
We get that with an LLC that costs us $150, and we open up an account with $25.
Correct.
Startup cost of business is $175. Right. So now we have an EIN. We're established with the state. And I'm assuming we have a product or a service.
Whatever.
We have a product or a service.
Correct.
We have something. We got our EIN. We got our LLC. What's next?
That's it. You're
that's
pretty much.
That's why basics. That's it.
That's the basics.
So you have a name. The basics is literally like a couple of steps.
Couple steps. All right. So now, check me out, right? Yeah. So we got to keep moving along because we got a lot talked about, right?
Okay.
So when you did everything bomb. So let's say when you going into business, right? What was the biggest lessons you learned? Like, what was the first big slap in your face? What was the first gut punch? Hurdle? You feel me?
What was the first big hurdle?
What was the first? This is not what I expected.
Whoa, business is real for real. Right. What was it? Explain it.
I probably would say taxes.
Taxes
was probably.
Okay, so that would mean we're operating legitly over the table.
Correct.
Because black people, they like
and that's why I would say with the LLC, before you get too crazy, if you're not ready to get legit, relax. Do not jump into this LLC until you're
ready to be legit.
Correct.
All right, so
now
game for game. Right. So now explain. Okay, what about the taxes? What about it really?
Yeah, explain that.
So with our Uncle Sam, how he feels about money is that, let's give an example. If you make, let's say $10,000 a month, right?
Okay.
Uncle Sam
as a business or
as a business.
Okay.
Say you make about $10,000 a month, and Uncle Sam well, I'm gonna need my money. Okay. So what happens is, say you have a car wash, and out of that $10,000 you have to buy soap and towels and business. All your expenses going to get taken out.
Right.
So Uncle Sam wants his money on what you can have left over.
Okay.
So if in that $10,000 you say you have $2,000 left over because your business expenses are high, Uncle Sam I'm gonna need my 10%. Is it 10%? I'm gonna need my 10% of that.
Of 10 or 2?
Of what's left over.
10% of the 2,000.
Whatever left over after business expenses.
Correct. He wants his money. So if you're in a business like mine where my expenses are not that high.
Okay.
Meaning I have a lot left over. So Uncle Sam I'm gonna need way more than that. And this is when I had to learn, I have to get a W-2 and start paying myself a weekly check so I can take that. So now I'm the cleaner lady. Okay. I gotta give myself some more job.
So hold up. So I got you. So you made yourself your own employee.
Correct.
And started paying yourself through your EIN.
Worked for yourself.
There you go. I hired me.
So you were your own boss and your own employee.
You're the boss and you're the employee. So
you started paying yourself a certain amount of money to
cut down my expenses.
Right, because you had an employee, which was yourself.
Correct.
Okay.
Now
game for game.
Go
ahead. Now explain to the people, as a boss and as the employee, how do you pay yourself?
Okay, so let me tell you the benefit of that, because other people and other coaches, I ain't gonna put out no racists out here. But anyways, so what happens is, now that I pay myself this W-2, and it don't have to be nothing crazy. I don't have to pay myself this bi-weekly check of thousands of dollars. I just need to bring down my expenses.
Okay.
So the benefit of that is that I can now say, I'm minimum wage. I only make $600 every 2 weeks.
You're the boss, and you said, I work for me and I'm paying myself.
Right. So I pay myself minimum wage. So technically I can go and get all the government assistance they have available despite I own a business, because as an employee,
Tonya only make
$16,000 a year. I am broke.
Me, Tonya, I only make 16 bands. People.
I don't make no money.
I ain't got it. So guess what?
Right, so Modern Twist. All right, so Modern Twist is the name of her salon.
Correct.
So Modern Twist.
Hire
you
me.
work for Modern Twist.
Wait, before.
And Tonya, the person. Hold on. Wait. So listen, wait.
Okay.
Modern Twist pays Tonya, the individual,
Correct.
minimum wage per year.
Okay.
Right.
So Tonya, the individual, says, "Hey, I don't make that.
I need food stamps.
Right.
I need this. I need that.
Right.
Okay.
But
Now, mind
Modern-
you, I could
right.
do that.
You could do that.
But I will not do that.
She's not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
course
But
not.
I'm saying that
We're just
because
saying hypothetically.
it's not
Hypothetically.
illegal. It's not a bad thing because technically,
That's the best thing you said. It's not illegal.
correct.
It's not
So
illegal.
You always want to
Right.
work, with the law, people. So there's a lot of loopholes.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
So that's how other races get above us because their
Exploit the
parents
loopholes.
their parents make all this money but they hire their kids and say they make minimum wage and everybody eats.
Everybody
this
eats.
is the thing.
B.
The rich teaches their kids
There
how to
you
be
go.
rich.
Game
the
for
poor
game.
doesn't even know.
We have no idea.
We can't even teach our kids anything. All we've known is how to be poor.
Correct.
So it makes no difference.
Right.
Game for game, people.
Game for game.
Game from again. All right, so damn. So yeah, that was
Okay, so
very-
Bob. So no. So now we we got a product or a service.
Mm-hmm.
We have an LLC. We have an EIN.
Right.
Our business is off the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
We may have a few customers, clients. You know what I'm saying? We're up and running, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's next? Like, what's the next step for someone? Since you've been in business 8 years, like, what's the next step someone should take as far as? And we're talking about the first 2 or 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
I would.
What's the first step? Like, not first, but what's the next step someone can take after
To-
all of that's set up? Like, what's
I would say
Put it
to
up.
pretty much continue educating yourself because
Educate-
there's so much
okay.
things that are changing depending on your business. If it's technology, like in my case, it may be hairstyles, it may be products. You got to continue staying on top of
Can I
things
ask you a
because
question?
there's
Would
someone
you-
always
when
looking
you
to
say
take.
education, would you use the same word as invest in yourself?
Definitely invest in yourself. I'm not
Okay.
saying you need to go back to college and get in debt. That's not
Okay.
what I'm saying. But
Okay.
there are courses that people teach courses for whatever it is you want to know, but you need to stay on top of those things and not get comfortable because a lot of us get businesses and it's like, I'm the owner and I don't have to, and we lose customer service. We don't care about people. We think we are just here. And it's like, calm down.
Do you teach courses?
I will be teaching courses.
You're going to be teaching
yes.
courses on what?
On this subject right here because I do feel
Finances.
like it's a lot of us that
Okay.
want to start business but we don't have a clue and there's so many people that's trying to make it seem like
Yeah.
getting a business is so hard and you could never do it and the white man said you can't and you know
This and that,
it's
and
not
that, and all
that
that.
serious.
Yeah,
It's not
right,
that
right,
deep.
right,
So
right,
I
right.
definitely will be offering classes to those, come next year 2020 I'm out here. So
Retwist by Tonya on IG.
Just by telling you on IG, can you let them know where you're located so if they want to stop by and show up?
they
and
can't
maybe-
just so I am located in Miramar, 8910 Miramar, Florida. That's where I'm
It's
at.
on the corner right by Miramar High School. If you
Miramar
know
Get your dreads,
Parkway.
twist.
Come get your
and
dreads.
Douglas.
Well, what type of what else they do in your shop? Who else? I mean, what other
Services.
Services.
What other? You know what I'm saying? Hey.
So services, there are. I have 4 other locticians. That's people that do locks. I
Okay.
have a braider. A girl
She has
that
a
braids
braider.
hair.
Okay.
I think that's
A makeup?
Oh, I have a makeup. I'm so sorry. I have a
And-
makeup artist.
And you got a girl that do she color hair? You
I
still
do
got hair?
have a colorist if you want your hair colored. So I'm
All
pretty
that.
well rounded in there.
Okay.
Pretty well rounded.
Because I remember you saying something about credit. Right. Let's get to the credit now.
We about to get there because we only got 1 more minute, so we're gonna take a break and
We're gonna take a break.
minute. This is the Game for Game podcast. We have the lovely Tonya Lowry in the building. I put the government out
he
there.
knows the government.
Retwist by Tonya. Follow on IG.
Follow on
We're gonna
IG.
come back. We're gonna dive into some credit. We're gonna teach your broke ass how to
How to get some goddamn motherfucking credit.
Let's go. Game for Game,
Game
man.
for Game.
Yes, sir.
What is wrong with y'all?
Because we're lit.
Really?
Oh, I should have got lit with y'all.